I have this vivid memory. I'm a child flipping through a family photo album, and I see that someone has cut my aunt's face out of all the photographs. Crude, oval excisions, most likely made with tiny embroidery scissors. I don't know what happened to my aunt. One day, she simply wasn't there. My discovery remains a secret. Decades later, I find myself looking through my mother-in-law's box of photographs. Here again, scissors had been at work. This time, the extractions are different. The scissors larger, as if severing worlds. Again, the why remains unanswered. I know that at 12 years of age, the Soviet secret police took her father. The year was 1936. The rest of her family was lost shortly thereafter. We do not speak of this, ever. I am a fourth-generation Canadian of Ukrainian descent, part of a community that carries secrets, unwritten stories, and traumas lived and passed from one generation to the other. I always find myself rifling through photographs, collecting empty albums, breathing in the musty, dusty air of the archives, and seeking to better understand the world I am part of. Looking back at history, specifically that of Soviet Ukraine, I was triggered by the government's systemic repression of the Ukrainian culture and political class, and its destruction of the idea of a Ukrainian national identity, cultural genocide. These government-approved programs, led by Stalin and the Soviet Politburo, necessitated the elimination of landowners, intellectuals, spiritual leaders, and their families. Fear, mistrust, and the pressure to conform pervaded all levels of society. This genocidal program, known as the Holodomor, culminated in the 1932-33 artificial starvation of more than 5 million people in Ukraine. The photograph is implicated in this personal and collective process. In my work, I refer to it as the soft tool of genocide, which serves the erasure of purged figures, censorship, surveillance, documentation, and intrusion in private lives. In Erasure, Memory and the Power of Politics, I combine the fragments from my mother-in-law's box with vintage photographs from my collection and my recent work in Ukraine, where I conducted research, recovered an archival photographic collection, and photographed the landscape. The images, presented as objects and portraits, as if layers of trauma, work to convey the individual and collective experience perpetrated by a system that failed its people, while the stagecraft of international political and economic powers normalized genocide. My emotional and intellectual responses are artistic, with a goal of activism and public engagement. They are manifest in On Genocide and the recognition that the politics of memory have always been manipulated by the image. Erasure, Memory, and the Power of Politics, the prelude to my long-term project on genocide, presents a new model monument to historical crimes, one which works metaphorically and abandons the statues of individuals which fail to adequately express the loss and pain that crimes against humanity inflict, many of which have been normalized and continue today.